Hey everyone, welcome to Between the Lines with your favorite host, your only radio host, Corinne Lafont. And I'm broadcasting from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago. It's beautiful outside, sunny, some nice puffy clouds like cotton balls are out there. It's just gorgeous, and I'm thankful to be alive, and I'm thankful to be here with Karen Pierce, who we're going to be talking about arguing, I guess, at some point, but we'll end up nice friends at the end, talking about enhancing your marriage by bringing work home. Let me repeat that. Enhancing your marriage by bringing work home, people. Now, I don't know the angle she's coming with, but I'm ready for her. Okay? So let me give you a bit of a bio on Karen Pierce. She's an author, speaker, and work-life balance coach. Work-life balance and talking about bringing work home? Okay. She's an accomplished businesswoman and pilot whose career broke new ground for women in the corporate world. Okay, graduating top of her aerospace engineering class. Karen, you didn't tell me this. Karen led large teams at leading aerospace firms, searching out new technologies, strategizing marketing plans, and implementing them on a worldwide basis. You look at somebody simple and you never know what's going on. Karen spent 16 years in Asia, where she entered the entrepreneurial world, beginning with her own business, consulting and coaching for individuals, businesses, and educational institutions. No stranger to the challenges women face in the workplace. She's in a man's world. And the conflicting demands on their time and attention, Karen now focuses on helping women strike a healthy and fulfilling balance in life. She believes that women are able to own their success. Notice how I say that. Women are able to own their success and grow into their God-given greatness. Yes, I like her already. While developing loving, supportive relationships at home. Awesome. Welcome, Karen, to Between the Lines.
Thank you, Corinne. It's lovely to be here.
Yes. Now look at you, aerospace engineer, pilot. What is all of that, Karen? You don't look pilotish. You don't look pilotish. Not I know what a pilot's supposed to look like. But what is all of that? Share a bit about that background here with us.
I loved airplanes. My dad used to take me to the airport on the weekends every once in a while. Actually, he was kind of nurturing my little brother with this. And we would watch the airplanes take off at Minneapolis International Airport. And I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And in high school, I liked math and science. I just really enjoyed it. And I didn't know what to do with my life. Math and science. I know. I paid dearly for it socially as well. But it all kind of happened when our marching band, won a trip to Hawaii. And back in those days, you couldn't go direct flight from Minneapolis to Hawaii. You had to stop in LA.
Okay.
And when we stopped over in LA, you know those door butts that come out, it kind of looks like a little seat, and there's usually a placard on it that says, "This is not a seat, do not sit." It's got the life raft in it. Okay. Well, someone sat on it and broke it. So ironically, they had to fly another whole door in to fix it. So we're 6 hours of 200 kids running around an airport. Anyway, pilots were as bored as we were. They invited us back in to see the cockpit. Back in those days, you could do that. And I walked into that thing and saw all the buttons and the dials. And then my eyes...
It must be awesome.
Oh, it was so cool. And then I saw the throttle quadrant. You know that thing?
Yeah, that's your pull button.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. I decided I was going to be a pilot. So
just for the throttle. Just
to take that baby off the ground. It was just for the power, sheer power.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I've heard stories of kids, parents who got the opportunity for their kids to go into the cockpit. That is awesome. I would love to be in front there. I think it would be frightening for me because all I'll be seeing is sky, no road, no vehicular traffic. No,
it's like being in the front seat of a car versus the back seat. The view is spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. The view must be spectacular. There's no other vehicle next to you. There's nobody.
Nobody.
Oh my God. So you gave up that career to go into your own business?
Well, like everything in life, circumstances change. I was, someone who needed eye correction. And at the time I was finishing my piloting skills. I'd been teaching and building hours and ready to go. It was at a time when a lot of pilots were coming out of the military.
Okay.
And so airlines, which is usually the place you go, could have the pick of the crop. And they had a whole lot more experience than I did. And they didn't have eye correction. So the restrictions, I could have been purple and, an alien, and they would want me just for that, but I couldn't meet the requirements any longer. So I fell back on my degree and did the next best thing. I went out to work for Boeing, and I was working on a heads-up display for British Airways.
Nice.
And from there, life happened again. I wound up, here's a life lesson. We got married and then moved out to Boeing.
Yeah.
I like to say that when we said I do, we did. 3 weeks after I got married, I was pregnant. I was like, this
you
was
said
not
I do
my
to everything.
plan.
You said I do to everything.
Yeah, birth control is great, but it ain't 100% and living proof. But actually, that was really a blessing in disguise. Terrified me, but it was a blessing in disguise, because I think I was one of those women who was so driven and not really drawn to have children. When I babysat, the kids didn't like me. It was one of those things. That I think by the time that we had planned to have kids, 5 years after we were married, I would have been so involved in my career, I never would.
Yeah.
And I look back and think of all the blessings of having the family, what I've learned, and the relationships, and it would have been such a shame for me.
Yeah. And that's why it's important that people, that point that you said, it was a blessing, that when things happen in your life, whether it's children, loss of a job, death of a loved one, whatever it may be. I mean, it might sound cruel, but there's a lesson to be learned in everything. And especially for children coming at a time when it's not so-called planned. You may not have planned it, but God planned it that way. So
Absolutely.
There's a greater plan ahead of you that you didn't even know. So I believe in that plan rather than your plan. So, yeah, I believe in that plan because it happened for a reason, and we need to appreciate that everything happens for a reason and see the good in it, see what we can learn, the positive from it.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about work-life balance and bringing work home. Now, I know we may end up into arguing, but I know we're not going to because I love you. So we're not going to argue. But the bringing work home is going to contradict or give a contradiction in listeners' minds and people who will be listening to this. Bringing work home, because I remember I used to seeing my mom bringing work home, and I am definitely, I work from home. So work is already home. But fortunately for me, right now in my life, I don't have a partner. But when I did, it did create some issues because I'm driven, just like you. I'm driven. I get consumed with what I'm doing. And I'm so focused because as one idea comes, another idea comes, and you're like, no, I just got to do this. I just got to do this. I need to work on this. And so the whole thing about, bringing work home to me is like bringing another man home, bringing another woman home, a third, fourth, fifth party into the relationship. How is that going to help with enhancing?
Yeah, I don't recommend that.
unless bringing the work home is helping you to enhance your own life, that you're sending a message. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm bringing something else to help you get a message. I don't want you. Tell me about that.
Well, I don't actually mean that you bring your work home and you hold yourself up in the den or office and work all night and weekend. I mean, what I'm talking about is, the things that make us successful at work, are really things that we discount for use at home. Okay. And we do them for a reason at work. When we say that, I guess what I'm saying is people make their life work around work. Work is 90% of their time, and they fit life in.
Right, right.
What they're really saying to themselves, and what they're agreeing to, whether they recognize it or not, is that my work is my priority over my family, my personal life.
Mm.
If we were to turn that around and say, my life is first, I'm going to work my work as part of my life, that's a different mindset.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is, just like we need to take charge of our career, no one's going to, promote us, get us into a new career, or no one's going to train us unless we step up and take charge of that, right?
That's right.
If we work ourselves to death at the office, people are going to feel sorry for us and, oh, that's too bad, and you have to quit your job. But they're going to find someone fresh and new and bring them right on in. They're not going to skip a beat, right? The company must go on.
You're disposable. You are easily replaced, people.
Yes. And unfortunately, we don't think about that at home.
Yeah.
We take it for granted. Well, if you keep saying to your significant other, you're just not that important. My time is better spent over here working. My time is better spent doing other things than paying attention to you and spending time and developing our relationship. Guess what? They're going to find someone else that will put them first.
True.
So we need to start thinking about it a little differently. And what I'm talking about is putting together some of the principles we use for good teams, for success at work, and putting them into practice at home.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, and what I want to also share or add to that is, you're saying this to the person who obviously cares about their significant other, who wants to be with that person, who values having someone in their life. Or else why would you be with them? Now, some people just seek companionship, or society demands or influence or puts them under pressure that I'm at that age, I should be with someone. Mm-hmm. So there are different reasons for being in that relationship. But for the person who is just there through societal influence, or because of an age, they feel I should be with someone, it looks bad being alone, or else people might think I'm on the other side, I'm gay, or I'm whatever. They don't put value on that relationship, and so their career takes preference. And they're driven by that because that is money, that is helping them to live, that is helping them to live the life that they want, travel, dress the way they want, eat where they want, etc. And so their career takes priority. And there's no problem bringing work home. For the persons in that kind of relationship, with that sort of mindset, how could we suggest to them to have that work-life balance and still show that sort of appreciation to that individual? Or is it best to just come out of it because you're not really doing justice to that individual? How, that sort of scenario, how do we work out that work-life balance?
Well, for the individual who's really having what you're saying is a relationship of convenience, right?
That's right.
There's a need they're filling, but it's not necessarily a reciprocal, lifelong commitment in that way.
Right.
That's a choice, but it's an arrangement, right? Yeah. It's as if, this is a convenient apartment for me because it's close to the places I want to go.
That's right.
If I change jobs and it's across town, I'll probably change apartments.
That's right.
If you're discussing a relationship that really kind of fits in that mold, then it's really just another thing in your life. What you're saying is the work is your security, it's your lifestyle, it's what you're pursuing. And the person, I hate to say is a thing, but is really treated as just another thing that's helping you do what you want to do outside of the relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I find that happening a lot. Karen. I'm seeing a lot of convenient relationships. People, but these same people that claim that they want to be in a relationship with you, I don't even know how to even explain it. They pretend as if They want a family, and a family may be produced from this, because yes, you're intimate, etc., and so you get pregnant and you have a child, but it doesn't translate into a family unit. It doesn't translate into that love, that care. That person, maybe man or woman, who is in this convenient relationship, their career is the priority, hardly spends time at home, hardly gives the woman any attention, hardly takes the family out. It's always about, I'm at work, 24/7. I have to go to work, even on the weekends. So we talk about bringing work home, and I think that's really the situation when people are bringing work home, and work becomes the center, and the excuse is given, this is what is taking care of the family. I have to work. I am making money to take care of the family. So it is given to the woman like, you should appreciate that I'm doing all of this for you, for us, for the kids. And so the woman ends up staying quiet, because it does make kind of sense. I mean, we're eating, we're drinking, we're not getting wet, we're under a roof. But at the same time, she feels unattractive, no attention. The kids are just there. No, she might not seek another man, but this is what it is. I mean, this is what I keep seeing a lot of. And people think that they're in a family. People think that they're in love. People think that the other person loves them.
Well, especially when we're talking with men on this situation. Men have a different idea oftentimes about
a lot of things, Karen.
Yeah, a lot of things. But with work, most of men will identify themselves as their work. Women do too, but not to the same extent. And so one of the things that I've learned with my husband is the thing that really cements our relationship from his point of view is my respect of him. Whenever he feels disrespected, whether it's in a choice I made, maybe it's the way I said something, or whatever, that's when we start to have issues.
Okay.
I guess I'm not a marriage counselor, but what I would suggest is that there's a mismatch of understanding about what the commitment is and what is expected on her part from him. What would make her happy? Sometimes the release of the pressure of having a certain lifestyle allows him to make some choices that give him some free time at home. On the other hand, if there's some real serious issues with the relationship, he may be using that as an avoidance excuse, a way to stay away from home, away from the problems that are waiting for him there, because he's got enough at work. But at least, and that's the insidious thing about work, is that we get a lot of immediate feedback about when we do a good job, when things are going well, from people from the success at work. At home, we're not nearly as kind. We're taken for granted. I mean, the bathrooms have to get clean all the time. Who thanks someone for cleaning the bathrooms, right? In fact, that's one thing I taught my kids, my boys, really early. This is my gift to their significant others. Whether or not they ever did it, is that they needed to clean their bathroom every week.
Yes.
And it's a dirty, crappy, excuse the pun, crappy job.
Yes.
And it never gets finished, right? Next week it's there to do again.
It's there again. Yeah.
But at least they know how to clean, and they appreciate the drudgery and the servanthood that goes along with that, no matter how things work out in their family. So, my thought was that there's some significant relationship issues at worst, or there's some communication issues about what's expected between the two. That maybe would, some conversation could really help.
I wanna ask you. You come from, your background would be considered more man's world. Aerospace engineer, math, science, pilot. You're hanging with the guys, and then you're married now. So I'm sure you had issues when you were in the man's world, and you're a driven woman, you're focused, that type of thing. So that sort of trait and characteristics may not go well for a man sometimes because you blinkers on, and a man may have that similar kind of silo thinking. Um, how in a marriage does that work out when a woman is like that and the man is like that? How do you coexist? I want you to share some tips as a woman.
Okay.
How? Because I think for me, I am very driven, probably similar to you, and I'm really not going to take crap from anybody, really. I've had enough of that, and I'm really not. And men would normally think I'm bold, I'm driven, I'm focused. They can't, you just can't spin around me, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. It doesn't mean to say I'm not flexible or, but you'd mentioned respect. You talk about communication. I would want the same, but at the same time, yes, I'm giving the man his due because he's man, but you must give me my due as well because I'm woman, and woman not meaning submissive woman. Recognize me for the contribution that I'm making, what I'm doing. So that sort of woman that's the A type, driven kind of thing, may not go well because men seem to like women who are more submissive, softer. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm not the yes type. So tell me, for women who are like me, you, and plenty others out there, how do we coexist? How do we coexist in the home?
Well, for my husband and I, and he's very much a type A and, very driven himself. And for us, that's part of the attraction.
Nice.
Usually type A's like type A's as long as they
That's
don't feel threatened by them, right?
I love that point because I do like type A's. Yes.
Because we drive energy off of that. We get new ideas. We can be forceful in what we think to draw out the devil's advocate side of things from the other person. And that's really charging, right? I mean, that just really gets you jacked up. The difference is, I think, between having a really good animated discussion and being at odds is when there's a need to control.
Yeah.
And of course, type A's, especially if they get backed into a corner, are going to want to control. That's where you start disrespecting one another. That's where you stop listening. You're starting to push your point forward. If you could only listen to me and understand, you'd see it my way, right?
Yeah.
My husband and I have developed a few rules, which I think
nice.
And I call them we call them non-negotiables, because this is just not open for discussion. This is the framework of our relationship.
Yeah.
And we started this early on. One was we never mentioned the D word. There was never any threat of leaving, no divorce. I mean, we just don't even call it, we don't even call it divorce. We mean the no D word, right?
No D word. Okay.
So that right there sets a whole level of security.
It's like you're in for life. Prison. Life.
But not prison, because the difference is, and I understand that thought, but the difference is we have a vision for what we want life to be together.
Yeah.
And we both are in agreement of where we're going with that.
Yeah. You're not in to make an excuse. You're not in to make an excuse as a way to come out of this thing so easily. Yeah.
Right. So with that long-term vision, we also know, just like a project at work, we're going to really tackle the market on this new product, and we don't expect that it's going to be without problems, right?
Right.
We don't even know the answers, but we're going to really put everything we got into solving the problems, because we are going to do that. We are going to make this product successful. Yeah. Well, with our marriage too, it's like, now we know we're going there, way out in the future. Yeah. And this is what we want it to look like. So we're going to expect some bumps along the way, even some detours, and maybe going a long way around in some cases. Yeah. But the idea is we're going to get over it. So the decision to make has already been made, that we're going to get through it together. Yeah. And that is key, because then there's not the issue of, this is too hard, or you're just not, you just don't listen. You're just not right for me. I made a mistake. I mean, that doesn't even enter our minds.
Wow. Yeah. I like when you were talking about the bombs, I came right back to you being a pilot and me being in a plane. And, there are times when it's very bumpy. And you're like, what is happening? Is anybody in the front there? But you're like praying, and you have no choice because you can't step out to say, I'm taking another ride.
Right, exactly. You're in that seat, and
You're in that seat.
You even tighten the seatbelt, right?
Right. You can't step out and say taxi. No, you're in there.
Exactly.
And you just have to either pray, trust, go along with it, whatever you need to do to cope at the moment, to be able to get out of it,
But the thing is like you said, you trust.
Mm-hmm.
You trust that pilot that he's doing the best he can, and he wants to make it to the destination as much as the 150 people in back, right? I mean, it's his butt in the seat too.
Right.
But when you and that's where the non-negotiables that I talk about really develop that trust. So when we get into our animated conversations, when our voices start getting loud, if for certain, if we start calling names or saying things that we don't want to, the other one has the opportunity to take a timeout. Okay. Just call a timeout. And taking 10 minutes away with the agreement to come back together is amazing. Okay. In how different you look at things.
Clarity.
Because 95% of the time, what you're arguing about is not the core issue. It's the last straw that just burst the dam, right?
Yeah. Break the camel back.
Yeah.
The straw that broke the camel. Although I've never seen a straw broke a camel back, but that's okay.
And the other thing is, you got two very intelligent people with great ideas and whatever all. You have to get to a point at some time where you can agree to disagree, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, the never go to bed angry, right?
Yes.
We live by that too.
I believe in that. Never go to bed angry. Yeah.
We've had some very late bedtimes. And we haven't always agreed at the end of it.
Yeah.
But we're comfortable with where we left it.
Good. Those are some key tips. I want to cross over to your website. Let me see if I can quickly do that. Because we're coming up to the end of the time. Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is your website. Ooh, I just cut you off here. Just give me a second. I just cut you off. Right. So here we are with your beautiful haircut. So tell us a bit about how persons can contact you. I see you have your books here. Let's go quickly to that. Let's feature. Oh, it's my time. Isn't that
my time?
It's
with the emphasis on time, right? You've only got so much time. So how are you going to use it? Is really the idea of the book.
I say use it right now. I mean, like right now. Yeah.
I've been having so much fun writing this, and it's primarily for women who are interested in really contributing to the workplace. Those that are career driven, that are really feeling called to the workplace, but don't want to compromise on their family life and their home life, and don't feel that they need to. And I don't think they need to. I've been married over 36 years.
Whoa.
20 moves. 20 marriages in those 30, almost 37 years, and 10 of them internationally. So I do understand the challenges of the transitions and the upheaval that can happen in career and family.
It's a beautiful cover. I love it. Do it all, be it all, have it all. Damn right, Karen. Do it all, be it all, have it all. I love it.
We find ourselves just trying to do all that, but not really actually succeeding. And what the book is about is how to do that and really have that full, enjoyable, loving life and support that you need. And what I'd really like to do for your listeners is to offer this book for free.
Oh, nice.
As a gift in a pre-sale, because it's not coming out till a little later this year. Yeah. And if they go to my website, Karen M. Pierce, Karen M as in Marie, Pierce.com/BTL for Between the Lines.
Yay.
They will get the free offer.
I'll be the first one.
Just for the cost of shipping, it's $5.95. I'd be happy to send them the book when it gets published.
Yes.
And as my gift to you right now, when you purchase the book, I will send you a visioning guide. Like I said, that vision, that long-term vision is absolutely essential. We'll
Yeah.
help you walk through how to do that, and really have some fun doing that and
Oh,
share it with your
nice.
partner.
Oh,
And then
beautiful.
if you would like some help, or just to understand how to do that, or to work through some issues that you're dealing with, I'm going to offer just even some free time with me, so you can have some
Nice.
consultation with me.
That's plenty
So
value, Karen. That's plenty value. I love it. And I thank you so much for setting this up.
I'm
This
very
page
excited about
specifically for all listeners. I'm definitely going to be promoting that and letting people know to grab your book. Yeah, to
it.
check out your website and contact you. This is beautiful. And congrats on your
Awesome.
book. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you. I'm
proud of
excited about it.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Very excited.
I'm sure. Hey, this is not going to be the first book. This is the first. You're going to have more. I expect it from you. Okay, Karen?
I got another one in process, but I got to finish this one first. So,
That's all
you're
right.
right. There's another one coming.
There's more. An author never writes one book. Okay? It's one and then another and another and another. That's just how it goes. So I expect more from you. But thank you, Karen. This has been wonderful. It's been a pleasure just talking with you, sharing,
Thank you, Corinne.
learning from you, especially those tips for the A people, the A-type people, or type A people, whichever one you want to go with. And for setting up this page, for our listeners. I want to thank you so much. Offering time for your, extra coaching time, listen, give advice, as well as giving that free vision and guide. This is awesome. All you need to do is pay shipping. That's pretty easy.
Great.
That's
Great.
pretty
Well,
easy. Thank you so much for being here on Between the
thank
Lines. I had a
you.
wonderful time. Thank you.
Oh, it's been lots of fun. Thank you, Corinne.
All right, my darling, you have a wonderful time. And of course, all the best to you and your future books and your new path in helping people with relationships. 37 years is enough time to call yourself an expert at this thing. Yeah, it's enough time to call yourself an expert. So definitely you have been there, done that. And so you're able to give persons the kind of advice like you've given on the show, to help them get through whatever they're doing. Yeah. And to create a work-life balance. Thank you so much.
Thank you.